Isn't there anybody left who's still sane? Help me! Help me!
The characters in Next to Normal are Diana, her husband Dan, their daughter Natalie, and their son Gabriel. But Gabriel isn't actually alive. He's been dead for 16 years, and is simply a hallucination of Diana's. At school, Natalie meets a stoner named Henry, and they start hanging out. Diana is constantly going back to her doctor to adjust her medication for her delusions, depression, and bipolar disorder. The first hint that we, the audience, are given of Gabe's death is Diana's family's reaction to seeing her make a birthday cake for Gabriel. After seeing a new doctor, Diana starts cutting and ends up in the hospital for ECT. Meanwhile, thanks to her new boyfriend, Henry, Natalie starts exploring drugs and Henry asks Natalie to the spring formal. Suffering memory loss from the ECT, Diana finds a music box and she suddenly remembers the truth about her son. Diana eventually decides to leave her family in search of recovery. The main theme throughout the musical Next to Normal is the importance of memory. The loss of memory, the search for memory, the changeability of memory, the feeling associated with memory, and the human need to honor it. A comedy is a form of drama that is playful, amusing, and typically has a happy ending. A tragedy is a form of drama that deals with tragic events and having an unhappy ending, especially one concerning the downfall of the main character. The musical, Next to Normal, is a tragedy, specifically a problem play, because it demonstrates the serious social issue of mental illness. Other problems featured in Next to Normal include parental pressure, failed romances, and the mistrust of doctors. The dramatic element in the scene we chose is a catastrophe, because it initiates the resolution for the falling action of the musical. Dan and Diana remember the passing of their child, Gabriel. We were still living downtown.
It's not a good idea.
My black coat thrown over my blue nightgown. You drove too fast. The lights of the city flew past.
Please, don't.
How could I ever forget? Outside, the morning was cool and wet. He had such chills. But still, he lay there so still. And just 8 months. So cold. We ran him inside. Lost, worrying, wondering. That hospital room. That gloom. How could I ever forget?
How could I ever forget?
Screaming at doctors, alarmed, upset.
God, I was so upset.
They said to wait.
Deanna, don't.
They never said we were too late.
You think this will help, but it won't.
But I was a child.
So many years ago.
Raising a child.
So much we could not know.
Those weeks full of joy. Then, a moment of dread. Someone simply said, "Your child is..." How could I ever forget?
This was the moment my life was set.
That day I lost you.
It's clear as the day we met.
How could I ever forget?
Why would you want to remember the things that hurt you?
I want to remember everything, Dan. How did he die?
He was sick.
With what? Why wasn't he treated? What was wrong?
Something the doctors all missed. The clinic, the ER, each specialist. They said babies cry, allergies, gas, who knows why. And I was a child, raising a child. We stayed up all night. Most nights, you slept at his side. But still, he just cried and cried.
He was a baby when he died. But I remember him. Older.
No, he was a baby. We should call Dr. Madden.
I played the part of Diana, the primary character in Next to Normal. For 16 years, I suffered with depression, bipolar disorder, and delusions. The root of all this was the death of my 8-month-old son, Gabriel. Sharp-mouthed, mentally unstable, but a dysfunctional mother, I start off as a tired and crazy mother to 2 teenagers, and I'm not satisfied with my current life. But I still try to be a mother, in that I'm concerned for my daughter, and baked a birthday cake for my deceased son. As time went on, and my medication changed, I got crazier and more desperate, eventually self-harming and later needing ECT. After I finally remember the truth, I leave my family to recover with my own parents and another mental health worker. At the end of the play, I am actually a little hopeful about my future.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and I played the part of Dan. I am Deanna's husband. I'm a middle-aged man raising 2 children. I am said to be handsome and genuine. I put up with my wife Deanna's tactics most of the time. Sometimes it's hard to do so, but somehow I manage. I am portrayed as a well-rounded character. You learn a lot about my family and about how we function and how we put up with each other. My delusional wife thinks our son, who passed away years ago, she remembers him being older. Dr. Madden and I try to explain to her that he passed so long ago and maybe not say a couple years ago. She was telling me he was a baby when he died, but I remember him being older, quote unquote. As you can see, the importance of memory for Deanna is very important. Overall, I like the story, and I think it would be better to see it in person than me reading it, because I think a real actor could do a better job than me putting enthusiasm into the play.
In the play Next to Normal, I play as Henry. I am Natalie's boyfriend. We met in Natalie's piano rehearsal, and since the day we met each other, we were very close. I helped Natalie through all of her family problems and got Natalie through the troubles she was having with her mother. I was also influencing her in bad ways. It started with marijuana, but then it became worse. She started using pills and harder drugs. I am a persuasive young man that is caring and understanding. I love Natalie with all of my heart, and I only wish the best for her and her family.
I played the character Gabe. I am the son of Diana and Dan, the brother of Natalie. Caring, cautious, and a badass describes me. Quote, "Mom, don't let them do this. It causes brain damage, is why I'm caring." Quote, "How do you know how much memory you've lost? If you've lost it," quote, "is why I'm cautious." Quote, "It's 3 a.m. Where have you been?" Quote, "is why I'm a badass. My mom means a hell of a lot to me. The doctor's orders are wrong. My father doesn't care for me. I only got my mom."
I played the part of Natalie Goodman, the daughter of Dan and Diana. I'm a high-strung 16-year-old girl who's also trying to be perfect. I spend a lot of the time in the practice room playing piano because that's how I become less stressed. The practice room is also where I met my boyfriend Henry. My mother is a delusional bipolar depressive, and she sees and talks to my brother who died when he was 8 months old 18 years ago. My father and I see that she gets the help, but we doubt that it will be effective. Under the constant stress of my mother's health, and my boyfriend Henry, who's a stoner, gets me into smoking pot to help manage my constant worrying. My mother loses her memory, and the tension between my mother and my father grow when my mom decides to stop treatment. I went to the school dance with Henry, where he comforted me over the situation at home. When I return home from the dance, my father informs me that my mother left us both. He reassures us that we will get by just fine, the two of us.